Hello, welcome back to the Grape Explorer. Hope you're all keeping well. I've set up the Wines of Italy quiz for today. I've got 10 questions for you to test your knowledge. Tried to capture as much of Italy as possible as I can in 10 questions. For me, Italy is one of the most challenging countries. So many regions, so many grapes, lots of things to try and pronounce and spell correctly, and it makes it all very difficult. But let's see how we get on. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm the Grape Explorer. I do wine education, product reviews, and lots of wine tastings. So let's jump into the quiz right now and stick around to the end to find out how you can win a copy of the brand new Big Wine quiz book. Lots of questions about Italy in there as well. But let's jump straight into question number 1, putting your regional knowledge to the test. Which region is located immediately south of Alto Adige? Is it A, Trentino? Is it B, Soave? Is it C, Friuli-Grave? Or is it D, Collio? You know, it isn't just about needing to know the grapes and the wines. Certainly when it comes to study, you need to know your geography really well. And Alto Adige is probably one of the most northerly regions in Italy. But often it goes by a double-barreled name of Alto Adige and Trentino. And that's because Trentino sits immediately to the south of it. So the correct answer here is indeed A. Now, moving on to question 2, we do have a question about wines here. Vino Nobile di Montepulciano must be aged for a minimum of how long before release? Is it A, 12 months? Is it B, 24 months? Is it C, 36 months? Or is it D, 60 months? Certain wines, of course, have a particular age requirement before they're released onto the market. That always adds a little bit more gravitas to the wine itself to have undergone some aging, both in oak and bottle. And in the case of this particular wine, the answer is B, it is 24 months. Moving on to question number 3 then, and a very specific question about the Bulgari DOC. So what does the appellation of Bulgari DOC permit? Is it A, that the wines can be made in steel tanks only? Is it B, that the wines must only be sweet in style? Is it C, that the wines can be released only after 6 years? Or is it D, that the wines can be made entirely from non-Italian varietals? Now, I think one of the clues to this particular question is actually trying to work out where the Bulgari DOC is. So if I say it's in Tuscany, you're starting to think about central Italy. And you may know that some of the regions on the coastal areas of Tuscany make what are called Super Tuscans. They tend to be made from varieties that you will find the world over, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot being a couple of examples. So for those of you who've gone for answer D, that the wines can be made entirely from non-Italian varieties, you would be correct. Well done. Question number 4 is a regional question again. Which region is home to more DOCGs than any other in the south of Italy? Is it A, Sicily? Is it B, Campania? Is it C, Puglia? Or is it D, Basilicata? What are DOCGs? Now, DOC is kind of the geographical boundary for areas. You know, lots of regions have DOC after them. It's almost like the denominated area of control. But DOCG takes it that next step up, where the wines have to come from a specific area. And I believe the Ministry of Agriculture actually have to have tasted the wine as well in order for it to get that classification. And where in the south of Italy will you find the most of these in one region? It would be in Campania, which is answer B. Question 5. Now we've got a grape question for you. First one of the day. Frascati DOC produces wines that are a blend of what? Is it A, Malvasia and Fiano? Is it B, Gracetto and Fiano? Is it C, Gracetto and Trebbiano? Or is it D, Malvasia and Trebbiano? Frascati DOC is actually in the Lazio region of Italy, so we're still around sort of central Italy here with this one. This is a white wine blend of 2 grapes, and the correct grapes are D, Malvasia and Trebbiano. So to those of you who got that one right, well done. Question 6, Italian labelling terms for you. What does Reserva denote on a label? Is it A, higher alcohol and longer aging than the minimum appellation law requirements? Is it B, higher alcohol and an aging of 18 months longer than minimum appellation law requirements? C, lower alcohol and longer aging than the minimum appellation law requirements? or D, higher alcohol and aging in oak only? I wish I'd written all of the answers that short, right or wrong, but I didn't. D isn't actually correct. Bit of a clue. I always go for the longest. I always find the longest answer in a question is often the right one. So if we look at the questions that I just wrote, is it possible that B is the correct answer? No, it's not. I've thrown you all off track with that one as well. The correct answer is actually A. It's higher alcohol and longer aging than the minimum appellation law requirement. Question 7. Now, Alto Adige is well known for its white wines, its Pinot Grigios especially, but let's take a look at red wines in that area. Red wine production in Alto Adige is dominated by which Italian variety? Is it A, Nebbiolo? Is it B, Dolcetto? Is it C, Schiava? Or is it D, Corvina? I think this is quite a tricky one because I've deliberately picked grapes that you would find in northern Italy. But powers of deduction, perhaps you might start to associate certain grapes with certain other regions in northern Italy. Nebbiolo, for example, you'd be thinking of Barolo. Dolcetto might be Alba. Corvina, Valpolicella, which really only leaves one answer here, and that is C, it's Schiava, which is the correct answer. Now, moving on to question 8, pairing grape varieties with regions. What is the most widely planted black variety in Asti and Alba? Is it A, Nebbiolo? Is it B, Dolcetto? Is it C, Barbera? Or is it D, Sangiovese? You know, I do realise sometimes when I talk about the answers, I inadvertently might be giving away answers to the next questions. Have I done it on this occasion? Let's find out. So again, we've got a number of grapes here that you would associate with different regions. Sangiovese, I think we can discount. We would associate that mostly with Tuscany, not necessarily with northern Italy. But the most popular one here, even though I said Dolcetto on the last question, that isn't the correct answer. The correct answer here is Barbera, which is answer C. Now, staying in and around the Asti and Alba regions, let's move on to question number 9. Which is the most southeastern region of Piemonte? Is it A, Asti? Is it B, Barolo? Is it C, Barbaresco? Or is it D, Gavi? Again, always important to know where these places are. Some of these are very bunched together actually. If you think about Barolo, Barbaresco, they're sort of bunched together geographically. And one of these does sit outside of those and to the southeast, and that one is in fact Gavi. So if you've gone for answer D, you've got another one right. And finally, I'm going to finish you on geography. I think I started on geography. I've really put you through the ringer geography-wise today. Which Italian city is not located in proximity to Chianti? Is it A, Rome, B, Pisa, C, Siena, or D, Florence? Rome was actually a lot further south than I remember it being, and that is the odd one out here. So the answer is in fact A, it's Rome. There we go then, 10 questions on Italian wine. How did you get on? Let me know your scores below. Now, if you would like to win a copy of the Big Wine Quiz Book, just out recently released, 1,000 questions over 100 categories, I am giving away a copy on this video today. Going to leave the competition open for a couple of weeks. All you need to do to enter is be a subscriber, hit like on this video and leave your score in the comments section below. Couldn't be easier. I'll pick out a winner at random and notify you in a future video. So thanks very much for taking the time to watch today. I hope it's something you enjoyed, putting your Italian knowledge to the test. Don't forget to enter the competition and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Cheers.